Picture a man enveloped in legend and debate, a figure whose name evokes both heroism and ruthlessness. General George Armstrong Custer, the notorious cavalry officer, has been forever carved into history's records. Yet what truths linger beneath the tales of his exploits? What hidden stories remain buried, waiting to be revealed? From the Civil War's brutal clashes to the decisive confrontation at Little Bighorn, Custer's legacy is cloaked in enigma. In this episode, we journey into the untold chapters of General Custer's life, peeling back the layers of history to expose long-concealed realities. Prepare to question what you know and explore the contradictions of a man whose influence on Native American history echoes even now. So settle in, unwind, and join us on this gripping exploration. As you watch, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel to support this growing community. In the archives of West Point's history, Custer amassed a record of misconduct unmatched by any before him. Despite graduating at the bottom of his class, his intelligence was never doubted. Whenever faced with serious consequences, he would buckle down and fight his way back. His life was a paradox, equal parts turmoil and self-control. Fresh from the academy when war broke out, Custer's battlefield feats quickly proved his command prowess. Knowing his greatest asset was his own life, he seized every chance to advance. He thrust himself into danger to stand out, leading from the front alongside his troops. With horses felled beneath him and clad in eye-catching uniforms, Custer was an unmistakable target for enemy marksmen. His flamboyant style mirrored his bold tactics. He never shied from leading by example, immersing himself in the deadliest battles of America's bloodiest war, yet emerged nearly unscathed. Custer credited his survival to sheer luck, earning commendations for valor as early as his first fight at Bull Run. His streak of dazzling cavalry maneuvers made him a media sensation, with the New York Tribune hailing him as a hero destined for legend. The soldiers of his Michigan brigade, many twice his age, idolized him, following him into the war's fiercest battles, proudly wearing the scarlet neckties he favored. In the furnace of the Civil War, Custer's leadership was exactly what the moment demanded: audacious, unapologetic, and electrifying to his men. On the battlefield, perception is everything, and Custer knew it. He was a consummate performer, radiating confidence and defiance as he charged ahead, sword raised. This iconic vision of Custer at the forefront of battle catapulted him onto the cover of Harper's Weekly, forever tying his name to that heroic image. Following his decisive role at Gettysburg, he rose to become one of the war's most celebrated officers, dubbed the Boy General. He stayed in the thick of combat until the conflict's final moments, even receiving the flag of truce when General Robert E. Lee surrendered at Appomattox on April 9, 1865. Custer's most respected superior, Lieutenant General Philip Sheridan, gifted him the very table where the peace terms were signed, accompanied by a note to his wife, Libby. It read, "Permit me to say, madam, that there is scarcely an individual in our service who has contributed more to bring about this desirable result than your gallant husband." What stands out about Custer is the sheer number of photographs that captured him. He grasped the influence of imagery in shaping public perception and how to wield it. His dramatic outfits and flowing golden hair evoked the romantic ideals of knights and cavaliers, crafting a persona entirely his own. He carefully curated his appearance, growing his hair long and scenting it with cinnamon oil, taking pride in his youthful, almost delicate features. Custer's fusion of feminine elegance and raw masculine bravery set him apart. Though some dismissed him as a showman or oddity, his theatricality mostly served him well. In the late 1800s, public figures needed a degree of performance to captivate audiences, and Custer mastered it. He had an innate sense of spectacle, ensuring his every entrance demanded notice. Yet after Appomattox, peace proved harder for Custer than war. Despite his battlefield promotion to Major General of Volunteers, he reverted to the modest rank of captain in the peacetime army. The military, once a force of over 1 million, had shrunk to just 30,000 men. Promotions were rare, the officer corps diminished, and the adrenaline of daily battles faded. Adrift, Custer turned to the one constant in his life, his wife, Elizabeth Bacon Custer. "Oh, Audie, we must die together. Better the humblest life together than the loftiest divided." These words from Libby, his anchor and closest companion, steadied him through the uncertainty of post-war life. "Let me repeat to my darling that while living, she is my all, and if destiny calls me to death, my last prayer will be for her. My final breath will whisper her name, for heaven itself will not be heaven until we are reunited." Their love story began in the quiet town of Monroe, Michigan, where Custer first arrived as a 14-year-old boy to live with his half-sister and study at Stebbins Academy. By the autumn of 1862, he returned as a dashing 23-year-old captain on General George McClellan's staff, now one of Monroe's most eligible bachelors. 3 years his junior, Libby was the luminous and refined daughter of the town's esteemed judge, Daniel Bacon, and among the most sought-after young women at the Young Ladies' Seminary. At first unimpressed by Custer, she eventually succumbed to his relentless courtship. Despite her father's objections, she was drawn to the way she became the center of Custer's world. Libby was not just a prize. She was intelligent, beautiful, and everything Custer admired. Their romance burned with intensity, idealized by both. "Oh, how dear he is! I love him so much. His words linger in my ears, his kisses on my lips," Libby would write, revealing the depth of their devotion. "I forget everything sometimes when I think of him. If loving with one's whole soul is insanity, I am ripe for an asylum." Together they embodied the chivalric ideal, the gallant cavalier and his lady, living the thrilling life Libby longed for. Custer's rapid rise through the ranks eased Judge Bacon's doubts, and on February 9, 1864, the couple married. Though their honeymoon was brief, Custer was soon summoned back to war. Libby eagerly followed him to the front. Defying convention, she refused to stay behind, insisting on being near her husband amid the chaos of battle. Whether in a tent or a borrowed home near the fighting, she remained his constant companion. In her own right, Libby was spirited and resilient, viewing their lives as a shared mission. She saw in Custer a hunger for greatness and was determined to stand beside him. When apart, they poured their hearts into letters, often 20 pages or more, finding comfort in words. He called her "my rosebud," or "my darling sunbeam," while she affectionately referred to him as Audie, a childhood nickname, or simply Beau. From the start, they saw themselves as inseparable. "When I think of how successful I have been of late, and how much has been said of my conduct and gallantry, I think she will hear of it and will be proud of her boy," Custer wrote. "Remember, I cannot love as I do without my life blending with yours." Their marriage was a partnership of equals. "I would not lose my individuality, but would be, as a wife should be, part of my husband, a life within a life," Libby declared. "I was never an admirer of a submissive wife, but I wish to look to my husband as superior in judgment and experience, and to be guided by him in all things." She dedicated herself to advancing his career, convinced he was destined for history. Finally, in the fall of 1866, Custer received his next opportunity, an assignment with the famed 7th Cavalry. But beyond his military exploits, did General Armstrong Custer also carry a reputation as a ladies' man? Thanks for watching History Giant. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories from the past.